Welcome into WagerTalk TV. I am Drew Martin, joined by Tony Finn and Brian Leonard of WagerTalk.com. And guys, we're talking Bedlam. We got Oklahoma State in Stillwater, the house that T. Boone Pickens built. This is going to be a good one. We're seeing the Sooners minus 13 on the road here, guys. 69.5 the total. Brian, start off with you. Do you think this number's a little rich? Which side are you looking at?
I think it is a little rich. Historical wise, the Sooners are 14-2 in this series, so they've dominated this series. And they run the ball very well. They average 6.4 yards per carry, but the Cowboys only allow 3.9, so it should be a good matchup in the trenches there. But something that's really amazing to me is teams that are elite, and I think Oklahoma's elite. Most of the times you get teams at this time of the season when they only have one loss are pretty elite. They have a losing turnover margin on the season. In fact, they haven't won the turnover battle since they beat UCLA in Game 3. So they're finding ways to win, even though they're losing the turnover battle. Now, that's normally a good thing to me.
Yeah.
It shows me even though they lose that, they could find ways to win. But you watch them the last few weeks, they are really struggling just to win these games straight up. And you've got a Cowboys team who just the last 4 weeks are +8 in turnovers. So they're winning, but they're also winning by the turnovers. So you have to ask yourself, did Oklahoma State find out something now where they feel really good about their offense, they're not turning the ball over? Or is it just a random thing that's going to happen? And I happen to think that the lines are really a little bit too high here based on the way Oklahoma's been playing. So I'll take the 13 points here with the Cowboys. And I think this is a team that's on the rise, playing good ball right now, peaking at the right time, whereas Oklahoma's kind of going down. They're still winning, but they're going down a little bit. So I think the line's a little bit too high.
Brian, that's a great stat. Surprising to me in terms of they've lost the turnover battle. Every game, either been tied or lost.
They had one game where they tied, and then every other game they've lost the turnover battle.
Well, it speaks to me, the talent advantage that they would have. Is that what you would read off of that mainly?
Yeah, they have the elite talent in this conference, and they're able to win despite making mistakes. But a lot of times when that happens, if you continue to make the mistakes, like if you're a player on that team, all you know is you won. You don't know that you've made the mistakes. You may not know that you didn't cover the spread. You just know, okay, we won, we move on. Well, those kind of teams get a little bit fat and happy, and now they're playing a team that they've dominated as of late. Like I said, 14-2. They could take them a little bit for granted here.
Okay, and Tony, we're talking about the Sooners and Cowboys here. Oklahoma State, dealing with Spencer Sanders out and Drew Brown coming in, the product from Hawaii, didn't exactly look good against West Virginia. He has looked good in the past in his college career. How are you reading this one?
I normally, all things being equal, and Oklahoma State not having that issue, the injury issues, I probably would have leaned with Brian on this and said, listen, those kind of numbers, you have to take the dog in a Bedlam series, especially as much as I've seen, and statistically everyone should be able to see, is that Oklahoma's regressed defensively as well. While they came in with an improved defense, supposedly an improved defense, I still think Lincoln Riley is the best offensive core, at least the offensive coach in the country. I think Brian could probably attest to that with their numbers per play, at least over the last 5 or 6 years. However, this team, not only have they not won the turnover battle, they have just, again, they are an elite program. They have as many 5-star recruits as almost as an Alabama or an LSU or a USC even. They've been a little more successful than USC, at least the last few years. But they're still, as far as their defense goes, something has to change for Oklahoma to be that program that really the Big 12 needs them to be. And they need the Big 12, any conference. One of the reasons I don't support or back or preach that I believe the Big 12 or the Pac-12 is a good conference is that since Pete Carroll's left, there's not that good cheater in there really getting all the recruits and dominating the conference. Anytime you have a dominant team, like an Alabama, in a conference, it's good for the conference. It brings good recruits. It brings good coaches. It creates a competition that is needed for any conference that wants to be a part of the January 4. Oklahoma lacks that. They're not good enough to be there. They're talking about it now. While I don't like the injuries, while I don't want to back Oklahoma State, I wouldn't back Oklahoma, but if you put a gun to my head, Brian, I'm on Oklahoma this weekend.
Great stuff, guys. Follow him on Twitter at Tony at WagerTalk and at B Leonard Sports for Brian Leonard, both at WagerTalk.com. And guys, remember, $2 Tuesday. Every Tuesday, get the hottest handicappers. Best bet for just $2 at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com.